So here's the secret to schools that keep improving. The magic of our best schools is really pretty simple. The places where people are year after year making schools better, where they're improving teaching and learning, they're the places where the faculty are having fun learning and improving their teaching. When people can find joy in learning with their colleagues, they keep learning. When people find joy in working with their colleagues, they keep collaborating.
So one way to reflect on the journey we've been on here is that we're really crafting or helping to contribute in the crafting or building of a very different type of a school environment. An environment where people are really willing to take risks. They're continually taking risks. They're learning from taking risks. They're continually reflecting on what really matters to them. And they have the perseverance and the wisdom to know how to maintain themselves through all kinds of ups and downs. In a sense, it's what we've always called a learning organization. We didn't use that term at the beginning because it often can be heard as kind of jargon. It's really not jargon at all. It's just a simple label to put on a phenomenon when a group of people are working together so as to continually to enhance their abilities to create the kinds of outcomes they really want to create. That's all we've ever meant by a learning organization. So that's why the notion of vision always sits right at the heart. That's why the working together, the building teams, the reflecting the quality of the conversation always sits at the heart. And that's why the whole idea of seeing the larger system, because you're doing this in some context where you've got to understand the forces at play or you simply will not be able to continually develop your capabilities to create the outcomes you really want to create. So you've been learning how to build a learning organization.
Now, the beauty of learning organizations is that they're fabulous learning environments for students. Students learn more from who we are than from what we tell them. We know that for students to thrive in a fast-changing and uncertain future, they're just going to need to be constantly learning, not just for 12 years or 16 years, but for their entire lives. And the best way for them to absorb that message is to have them look around at a community of adults who are constantly trying to get better at their jobs, who are constantly trying to make curriculum more powerful and more meaningful, who are constantly finding ways to help students become better versions of themselves. I hope that Peter and I have had at least some success modeling this in our time together. It's been an incredible experience for me to listen to Peter, hear what he thinks is important, and find ways to synthesize our perspectives and resolve our differences. And it's been fabulous for me, many years Peter's junior in this work, to be able to share my perspectives and give him some tools for working with educators. Even when you've worked on this for 20 or 30 or 40 years, you're just never done. So you've launched innovation in this course, and at some point, by definition, the innovation that you've launched in this course is going to stop being an innovation. After 1 year or 2 years or 4 years or 5 years, it's not going to be something new anymore. It's just going to be a set of practices. It's going to be the way that you do things. It's going to be a part of the fabric of your teaching and your school life. And it's not going to look exactly like what you imagined when you started. And that's natural. It means that you've been successful in effecting a more permanent change in your school. When I first started teaching, I befriended the senior master of my school, a guy named Nick Nickerson. He was the teacher with the longest tenure, over 30 years teaching math. And in the fall, I asked him, "How are your classes going?" And he said, "I have 3 sections that are off and running and doing just great. And there's one that I just haven't figured out yet." 30 years of math teaching, and he's still working on figuring out. And for people like Nick, that's the source of ultimate satisfaction, the chance to constantly improve craft and improve community. Peter and I have learned so much from your stories and perspectives, from your efforts to make sense of launching innovation in schools. We're so grateful for all of your contributions to this learning experience, and we look forward to improving this learning experience with those insights for future students.